I've thought about doing this video for a really long time, like months now, I would say. Probably like halfway through quarantine, I started thinking about this video. I was trying to decide whether I want to get an actual Peloton bike or try out this Peloton Hack that I've been seeing on the internet, which I will get into a second. But if for some reason you're not familiar, a Peloton is really hip, really trendy. I would definitely say it's the most popular exercise bike at the moment. It's really innovative, it's really modern, it has a nice touch screen display built into the bike, and they film in-person classes that are available on this touch screen, so you can choose from classes like Broadway theme, Beyonce theme. I mean, come on. They have features like a scenic ride where it can look like you're riding your bike through like the French countryside or like by a beautiful ocean somewhere. They also have off the bike classes like yoga, strength training, etc. And Miss Peloton is very trendy and very hip, but oh my God, is it expensive? If you were to go online right now and purchase the older version of the Peloton bike with the shoes that have cleats on them that are required to bike on one of their bikes, it would cost you a grand total of $2,022. And in addition to the purchase of the bike, like that initial price you pay, you also have to pay for an all-access membership to use the actual interface and like the touchscreen digital system on the bike, which that runs, I believe, $39 a month. So it's very pricey. Also, the other thing about the Peloton is that there's about, I think, 4 to 10 week wait time at the moment. And I've heard a lot of people say that they're getting theirs earlier, but I also have heard a lot of other people say that they're getting theirs way later. They ordered one, it was supposed to come in October, it's not coming until February. So it was kind of like, well, I want something right now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not patient. And I am not going to sit here and lie to you. I almost stress bought a Peloton during election week. It was a very low point for all of us. I'm sure we can agree. And who knows, maybe in the future I might invest in one, but I just kept thinking about this hack that I had seen on the internet and how many people were talking about how to basically get all of the benefits of having a Peloton without having to pay $2,000. And I was like, hold up, saving money? I'm interested. So what this hack actually is that Peloton actually offers a kind of smaller version of their app in the App Store. So you can download that app. Instead of paying $39 a month, you're paying $12.99 a month. And then what you do is you buy a cheaper exercise bike and you pull up the app either on your smartphone or a tablet or an iPad or whatever it is you have, and you access the Peloton classes that way. So then you can participate. You can have the benefits of the Peloton classes without actually paying for the Peloton bike itself. It's kind of genius. And when I work out, I like to celebrate the fact that I love my body and not that I hate it. It's not a punishment. It's to feel like joy and to celebrate the fact that I'm able to exercise. And so I was trying to think of, especially during quarantine, you know, we're all stuck at home and hopefully all of us are staying home at this point. God. I was trying to think of a way to kind of spice up my exercise routine. And I was like, what if we did a little bit of a bike thing? So I was like, this is the perfect opportunity. Let's test it out for a video. Let's see how much money I save. There are obviously plenty of other exercise bikes out there that are cheaper than a Peloton. I mean, they're still pretty pricey, but the ones that come with a screen built in that have classes you can choose from, you can totally go for one of those options as well. But I do feel like what attracted me to this is the fact that I've heard nothing but amazing things about Peloton classes and the fact that they're basically like unmatched. So I was like, I have to try it out for myself and see what all this hype is about. Try out this bike for a little while. If I absolutely love it, maybe I will invest in a Peloton in the future, but maybe I won't. Maybe I don't need one. It's so funny because my good friend Sierra Schultze here on YouTube actually created a video about her experience riding a Peloton for 30 days. It's an amazing video, I'll link it down below. And then she also recently filmed an update on her vlog channel after using it for several months, kind of giving her thoughts. And it's so funny because we are always like right on par with each other. We're always the same person, it's hilarious. And she released the video talking about her update and giving this exact example as a hack. And I woke up and I was eating my cereal and watching that video, and I literally had this bike downstairs like ready to film this video that day. So it's just really funny how that worked out. So yeah, definitely check her out down below. And what I've heard from her and from other people on the internet is that you really maybe don't need the bike. Like you can get by with just the classes. So we're gonna test that out today. Let's take it back a few weeks ago to when I was making my selections. If you know anything about me thus far, then you know your girl loves to save some money. So let's see what we can do. Today is an exciting day because I'm going to be shopping for my Peloton knockoff bike. I'm very excited about that. I hope I'm not gonna get in trouble legally for saying that. I'm getting an exercise bike. So I've been doing some research beforehand before I start shopping because I want to make sure that I'm getting like the most bang for my buck. I want to make sure that I look into options, read reviews, etc., so that I can make the best decision and save the most money possible. I also recently just saw a couple people talk about in their vlogs a bike called the Cyclace exercise bike. It looks decent. I'm gonna try to keep this as cost efficient and buy as little as possible. I thought about going one of two ways. I thought about following all of the hacks that I saw online, switching out the pedals, buying the cycling shoes, buying the cadence monitor, which we'll get into, all those different kinds of things. And I think I'm just gonna try it with like the bare minimum because I feel like most people who are looking into this aren't necessarily going to want to buy like 7 moving parts, you know, and then have to reassemble, and etc. So this bike in particular tickles my fancy because it's $369.99. So it's the cheapest one that I've seen that like still has good reviews and people genuinely like. Great reviews are a huge part. Being able to switch the resistance, like having the resistance knob is huge for me. It seems like you can also adjust the seat, like the height and the like depth of the seat. It has a little section where you can rest your iPad or like a tablet if you have it. Also, if you don't have an iPad or a tablet, you can totally do it on your phone and then like AirPlay it to your TV or whatever. And the best part is I actually have in Amazon gift cards about $140 in Amazon gift cards. So this one is available on Amazon. So I believe with the discount and everything like that, I would be paying about $250 for this bike, which is pretty incredible if I do say so myself. So I think I'm just gonna go for it. Like, how bad could it possibly be? I think this is gonna have to be the one. This is so exciting. $250 versus $2,500. I don't know, you tell me. I'm doing it. I am doing it. There we go. She's ordered. Now in about, what, 3 short days, we will unbox her and get going.
4 to 6 days later.
Good morning, everybody. I am super energetic and super excited this morning because it is Peloton day. I just climbed up and down the stairs like 3 times, so I'm a little out of breath. It's not Peloton day, but we're taking a Peloton class today, so I'm really excited because the bike arrived. It took about 2 days to get here. I think it was supposed to take like 5, but it only took 2, so it came really quickly. Here in this nice little box, we're going to somehow bring this up the stairs. Ignore our Christmas decorations to the side, but this is it. The box is actually a lot smaller than I thought it was gonna be. I mean, it's probably a good like 4 feet tall, but I really thought it was gonna be way bigger and like fatter. So I'm excited about that. We're gonna haul this upstairs and then put it together. Okay, after literally tumbling it up the stairs, we have made it. So what we're thinking is we have this like landing area, bonus room in our house. This is I think our tentative plan for it. So we actually already had this foam padding from when we bought a blow-up kiddie pool over the summer to put in our backyard in the dirt. So we thought that that would be a good pad to put underneath, and then we can look out the window. We have like mountain views and stuff out that window, so that's gonna be pretty nice. And now it is time to get it all set up, so let's try it. There we go. It looks pretty nice. I mean, I don't know, I don't really have much to compare it to, but got the handlebars with the rest for the iPad in it. The people that I've seen get this bike do say how easy it is to assemble, and most of the people I've seen have assembled it with 1 person, and we have 2, so hopefully it'll be a lot faster. Okay, so we have in this little compartment all of the hardware and stuff that you need, and it looks like the package broke loose, so there's just a bunch of like loose nuts and bolts in here and stuff. So we're gonna see if everything is still there. Hopefully it is. There was also a hole in the box, so I'm hoping that nothing fell out. So here's where we're at. This whole thing like either came loose or it was like returned and they just threw the stuff in there. So we're hoping that everything's okay, but it does tell us how many we need. So small hiccup, but I think we'll be able to get through it. So far we have unboxed the seat and it doesn't feel too bad. Like, it feels a little squishy. It also comes with this little monitor with some batteries. I think it's like a timer, like it tells you how long you've been riding, speed you're going, the distance, etc. So that's nice. It comes with that. Got the actual bike itself. This all came in 1 piece, so that's very convenient. And then we have like the little stand that it goes on, the handlebars, and I think that's about it. So let's see how we throw this thing together. Next step, putting on those pedals. That's the other thing I was gonna say, is that you can purchase other pedals. Like there are modifications that you can do to pretty much any exercise bike you buy. You can order pedals where the shoes clip in. We probably will do that at some point, but just for starters, we're gonna use the pedals that it comes with. But it looks like, based on looking at the bike, that they'd be really super easy to switch out if you want to do a different one. So we have it all set up here, and now right next to where this bike is, there's actually an outlet, which is very helpful because I can keep my iPad plugged in. So we're gonna get started. Join Peloton. That's what I like to hear. You're all set. Oh my gosh. Membership activated. Okay, so there's strength, yoga, cardio, meditation, running, outdoor, cycling, stretching, tread boot camp, bike boot camp, and walking. They have a 30-minute 2000s ride, 30-minute country ride, 30-minute hit ride, 45-minute intervals. Where's the Beyonce class? Because I'm pretty sure I saw that there's a Beyonce class, and that's honestly...
Can you search?
Music. Ooh.
Ooh.
Alternative?
Maybe indie music? Where's K-pop?
Blackpink? All right, here he goes. His first Peloton ride.
Here we go.
1 hour later.
Okay, somebody just finished their first Peloton class. He already told me his thoughts. We're gonna give you an overview of what he thought. So you enjoyed it?
I did. I enjoy it. I like the instructor.
Yeah. You took, what was her name?
Tunde?
Tunde, yeah.
She was good. 45 minutes. My legs hurt.
You said about the cadence and the resistance?
So since we don't have the Peloton bike, when she's doing the workout, she says like, you don't have to, but she's like, you know, turn your resistance between like 3 to 8 times, or like whatever, it should be in between this number, and your cadence should be in between this number. So if you don't have the bike, you can't tell.
Yeah, so that might be a con for some people.
Yeah, and I mean, as long as, I feel like you said, as long as you feel like you're doing enough, that should be good enough. But to me, I don't know, I like following the rules, so it's having a problem.
That is a really valid point. I mean, if you are considering taking these classes and wanting to like hit all the numbers correctly and just making sure that like you're right on par with the instructor in the class, that is something to think about. There is a Bluetooth cadence monitor that you can get, or a cadence counter, or whatever it's called. You can kind of like stick it to the side of your bike and then it will tell you what your cadence is. So I'm considering ordering that for at least the cadence part, so then we can sort of know how fast we're going and be able to keep up and go in the right like number range as the instructor. Now it is my turn. I have a Beyonce class queued up and ready to go, so let's see how it goes. Okay, here I go. Ooh, okay, first impressions, honestly, this seat is a lot softer than the cycling classes that I've taken. I'm gonna do the 30-minute Beyonce 2-for-1 ride with Alex and Tunde. Here we go. So now we're back to present day. It's been a couple weeks, I would say probably about 2 weeks that we've had it since I filmed those last clips. We've both ridden it a few times and really like it, honestly. I figured I would go over a kind of more comprehensive list of pros and cons, just to give, for those of you who are like genuinely curious, like want a more in-depth review. Based on about 5 rides, this is what I'm going to give you as far as my list, and things that I could think of that I love, and things that I sort of wish I could change, or things that I think might be possible pros and cons for other people who are considering this as well. Because obviously the main goal here is to save money, but you want to know like the nitty-gritty about it, right? For the first pro, we'll start with the good things about it. Obviously, we have to mention the fact that this bike was so cheap in comparison to other bikes that I was looking at. With the price that I paid for the bike, with like the gift card that I had, and what the price of a Peloton would be with just baseline, nothing else, I saved $1,764.22. That is crazy. One of the biggest things that I thought was so convenient about this bike in particular is that there's this perfect little like lip on the front of the bike near the handlebars where you can just set in your tablet or your iPad or your iPhone or whatever it is you're using. Super convenient, and it, like, I think it was probably designed for that because it fits perfectly. And I I'd be riding that thing sometimes, you know? Like when you're out of the saddle and you're standing up, it shakes around a bit, and I haven't had any issues so far with the iPad moving around, but obviously like be very careful. The other thing I noticed, which I'm pretty sure I mentioned as well, is that the seat is a lot more cushioned than other seats that I've experienced, like with cycling classes I've gone to. SoulCycle basically has you sit on a rock for their classes. I'm sorry, I just have to say it. I also went to a couple other small studios in LA, and those were pretty rough as well. So this was nice to be able to have a little bit of cushioning. There's something called saddle soreness that people who ride bikes or go to cycling classes or whatever can tend to get. I really didn't have that much with this bike. I definitely had it. So I had it for about 2 days, I would say. And I have heard people who cycle frequently that it's really common, and it's just kind of something that you have to suffer through for like 5 days or so, and then you just kind of like, it gets better. Like I guess your saddle area gets more accustomed to it or something. I don't know. But there are times even on this bike where I just find myself like wanting to scoot further and further and further back on the seat because it's like my literal vulva like is in pain, and sometimes my butt, like, so that's something, if you're really sensitive there, that I thought I would mention. But Drew hasn't had any issues at all, so I wasn't sure like where in this video to put that, but it really was so much better than other cycling classes I've taken in person. But it just comes with having a bike, and like I said, you can switch out the seat, you can buy padded cycling shorts, you can buy little gel pads that go on your bike seat. There's tons of other options. And the very last one was another cost related one. The Peloton app is only $13. You only have to pay $13 a month as opposed to $40 a month, which is a huge difference. It's an extra, what, like 27 bucks you save a month or something like that. I mean, that makes a huge difference. That's like my water bill. So I mean, that's pretty great. Now moving on to the cons. I have more cons written down than pros, but I also felt a responsibility to be a little bit more like harsh and critical because I want people who are watching this video to know like the details of it. Also, there's only like so many good things you can say. Like the bike is great. I genuinely love it. Like I really am happy with it. It's a great starter bike to have. But the first thing I sort of noticed and that I wrote down on my cons list is that you do have a little bit more limited access to the Peloton app than someone who has the Peloton bike, like the all access membership. So for example, you can't search for specific classes. Like you can't, there's no search bar and you can't like type it in. I do believe I heard that on the Peloton bike you can do that. You can't do any scenic rides with this limited app. I think it's because with the bike it sort of is programmed with that, and so they go hand in hand, so that makes sense. But there aren't those options for this version of the app that I have. So if you don't have a Peloton bike, you don't have access to those things, which totally makes sense. I mean, there's got to be like some extra benefits, but there are filters on the search. So if you want to search for classes by instructor or length, or like you can do beginner, low impact, cycling, yoga, things like that, you can do that. You can use filters to search, but you can't just like go in and type in like Beyonce, if that makes sense, or Broadway or whatever. You kind of have to scroll through and find them. At least that's what I've noticed for the first 5 or so times using it. The other thing that I thought might be a deterrent for some people is that obviously it's not a Peloton bike, like I mentioned, so there are like more logistics involved as far as getting everything set up. Like you need to have an external screen of some sort, so like your phone, an iPad, tablet. I think I've mentioned that like 20 times in this video, but getting everything set up like might be difficult for some people. It was super easy for me. I had no problems whatsoever. I mean, all you have to do is like download the app and then set up an account and you're ready to go. But for some people, they may want it all in one. I thought that might be considered a con for some people if it's not just like all built in and you have to kind of do some extra work, but it was really no problem for me. The other thing that I felt like is such a minor thing, but the bike that I chose to purchase came with such a tiny water bottle holder. I think this water bottle would have to be for infants. I don't understand what water bottle would fit in that, but also I am American and we have obnoxious sized water bottles. I think I've learned that from going to a couple other countries, so I don't know if that's just like because there's not a water bottle holder big enough to fit my giant 32-ounce hydro flask. It's no diss on them, it's just we're gonna have to buy like a smaller water bottle because I don't want to use reusable ones. But if you did, or you had a water bottle that was a bit smaller, it'll fit in there no problem. Again, this is sort of subjective, like it can depend on the person, but for me it wasn't a big deal. For some it might be, and that is that you don't have any kind of clip-ins for your shoes or for your cleats. As I mentioned earlier in the video, a lot of cycling classes you go to, Pelotons, different exercise bikes that are kind of more high-end, they do have clips in the pedals for your cleats to clip into because it's a lot more secure, it's a lot less dangerous. With this, I did think in the beginning it was going to bother me a little bit, but after doing several classes, I haven't had any problems. For the time being, like, we're totally fine, so we're gonna go with it. But for some people, I know they want that like really secure, kind of like clicked in type of vibe, and this doesn't have that. I'll talk about this next one more time, even though I've already mentioned it before, but again, just to kind of recap, if you are really focused on numbers, like matching the instructor pace by pace, being on the exact same cadence, going the exact same resistance that they are, if that is going to bother you, that they say like turn your resistance to blank and your pace to blank, you aren't able to do that because you don't like obviously have it built into your bike and you don't, the settings are different and stuff. If that's gonna bother you, then this might not be the bike for you. But honestly, I kind of just look at their legs and try to pay attention to how fast they're going. So for me, it's not a huge deal. I'm not really that into like stats and staying on the exact same beat. I'm just trying to like move my body and have fun. But for Drew, he's much more like numbers based, and I know a lot of you probably are as well. I mean, it's personal preference, like I said. And then last but not least, this might be a con. I was trying to think of, like I said, things that might be cons for some people. For us, it isn't. But if you are living in an apartment or if you live somewhere with like super thin walls, you can sometimes hear like when you turn the resistance up on the bike, it does kind of get a little bit loud. I don't want to say loud, but it's just like you can hear it. It makes a little bit of a noise. I'll insert a little bit of a clip here, but it was something that I didn't really know before I started riding the bike. I actually only heard it when Drew was on it because I have headphones in when I'm doing it, and so does he. It's really not that loud at all. Again, I was just trying to think of anything that might deter someone from wanting to get this. So yeah, that's pretty much all I could think of. I hope I covered all of the bases. I tried to be as thorough as possible. If you're interested in maybe an update, or if you have any suggestions yourself, or if you did something similar to this, definitely let me know in a comment down below. I'm gonna link as much info as I could find when I was doing my research for this in the description box. I'm just really happy with this decision. I'm happy that I went with this and I'm testing it out. And maybe in like a year or something, if I use this thing like non-stop and I'm ready to upgrade, then I totally will. I'm not trying to deter anyone from buying a Peloton or shaming anyone for doing so, but if you are someone who is in less of a wanting to spend $2,000 on exercise equipment mood, I thought that this would be a great option and an alternative for you. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can also turn on my post notifications if you want to be notified every time I post a new video. I love you all so much. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this in the new year. And until then, I will see you next time.